of the things I remember about my childhood was coming to this place. Now, many of you, if you lived in Leichhardt, grew up in Leichhardt, so spent any time around here, you probably would have come to this place years and years ago. But it's been closed for many years now. It was the old Ipswich dump. People would come here, particularly on a Saturday morning, they'd throw all their items away, but then they'd spend time going through all those items as well, the stuff that other people had left behind, looking for treasure, looking for something that they could take home and use or do up and sell. I think I may well have gotten some of my bikes from here in the past. But when the time came to close it, the government recognised that this place, being a dump, was full of all sorts of things that we didn't want people going through. That's why these days when you go to the dump you can't actually go through anything anymore. The chemicals and things that go through, they make people sick, they cause all sorts of problems. They've taken away some of the joy of going to the dump as well. But when they came to the time to close this place, and they do this with all kinds of landfill now, they cover it over. Rather than taking the stuff away and disposing of it appropriately, what they did was they covered it over with soil and let the grass grow over it and sort of do what they've done here. Put a fence around it, stopping people from being able to go in there. They hide the rubbish. They hide the garbage. And in many ways, that's what we do for ourselves as well. The stuff that we have in our life that we don't want people to see, we cover it over. We pretend it's not there. We hide it away from the world. And we pretend that it has no impact on us anymore. But the problem is that it always comes back to the surface eventually. It eventually makes a difference. It changes who we are. And if we don't do something about it, it can cause all sorts of problems. That's one of the things that Christ does for us. He deals with that garbage. He helps us to deal with it, to take it away, to take the impact of it away from us. But we have to allow him to. We have to be willing to peel back the dirt, peel back the layers that are covering it all up, and to deal with it, to hand it over to him. The Bible tells us, and Jesus says this himself, that his burden is light. He wants us to put all our problems onto him and take on his yoke, take on his burden, because his burden is nothing compared to what we cover up in our own lives. This place is no good for anything for a very long time. We can't build anything there, we can't do anything with it, we can't even go in there. Don't let your life become like this old tip, useless and worthless to the people around you, even to yourself, even to God. Deal with the garbage. Allow him to take it. Allow him to deal with you. And see what he does with your life, what he can turn it into.